Change room. It was supposed to be a quiet evening. Just another ordinary shift at an ordinary clothing store. Lena, 26, had stopped by after work to pick up a few dresses for an event. She'd always liked shopping late, when the crowds thinned and the store was almost empty. The employees knew her face by now, a calm, polite regular who never made trouble. That night, as she walked in, the place was unusually quiet. Only one other person inside, the cashier, Kara, sitting behind the counter, scrolling her phone with the bored expression of someone who'd already mentally clocked out. The soft hum of fluorescent lights filled the empty store, and some faint pop song played from invisible speakers. "Just letting you know we're closing in 15, Kara called lazily, not looking up. "Got it," Lena replied with a small smile, lifting 2 dresses from a rack. "Won't take long." She moved toward the back, the fitting rooms. They were always a little colder back there, a little quieter, as if sound itself got lost between the racks and mirrors. The fitting room corridor stretched out like a narrow tunnel of gray light and cheap curtains. A small security camera dome blinked red near the ceiling, watching. Lena picked stall number 3. It was her favorite, close to the middle, far enough from the staff door to feel private. She hung her dresses, pulled the curtain shut, and began changing. The fabric rustled softly. Hangers clinked. The mirror reflected her in the half-flickering light, tired, but content. She slipped into the first dress, smoothing it down, turning side to side. Then came a sound. Click. It was faint, but distinct, like a camera shutter, or a metal snap. She froze, looking around. Nothing, just her reflection, her heartbeat, and the hum of the ceiling vent. She laughed under her breath. Probably the light. Then she tried the second dress. As she zipped it up, the sound came again, a little louder this time. Click. Her smile vanished. It came from above. She looked up at the air vent. The slats were wide enough to see the darkness behind, and something reflected light back at her. A tiny glint like glass. "Hello," she whispered. Silence. She stood on her toes, trying to see better, but all she caught was a shadow and a faint mechanical whir. Her skin prickled. She quickly stepped down, pulled her jacket over her arm, and decided she'd seen enough. But when she pulled the curtain aside, she noticed something strange. The curtain of the next stall moved slightly, just a small, unnatural ripple, like someone brushing against it from inside. "Kara," she called softly. No answer. She crouched, peering under the partition. 2 black shoes, facing her, perfectly still. She jerked upright, heart pounding. When she looked again, the shoes were gone. Now panic began to bloom behind her ribs. She stepped out of her stall, looking around. The fitting room hallway was empty. Every curtain was still. Every mirror reflected that harsh, sickly white light. Then she noticed it, the red light on the camera dome above the hallway. It was off. It had been blinking before. Now it was dead. Her throat tightened. "Kara," no answer. She stepped out into the main store and stopped. The music had stopped. The counter was empty. The lights near the front doors were dimmed. She looked at her phone. 9:07 p.m. The mall closed at 9. "Hello," she shouted, walking faster. The glass doors were locked. The security gate was already halfway down. She rattled it. Nothing. Then from the back, that same clack, like something metallic, snapping shut. She turned slowly toward the fitting room corridor. Every instinct screamed, "Don't go back there." But she did. The lights flickered as she stepped closer. The air felt heavier, colder. The mirrors reflected strange fragments of her stretched, blurred. And then, a voice, faint, distorted, like through an old speaker. "You look perfect in red." Lena froze. "Who's there?" No answer. Her hands shook as she reached up toward the vent again. She could hear something inside, a faint mechanical hum. She dragged a stool under it, climbed up, and pulled. The vent cover came loose, and a tiny black camera fell out, dangling by a wire. Her stomach lurched. It was taped there, watching her. She dropped it instantly, stumbling back. Then that voice again, closer this time. "Don't leave yet, Lena." Her blood turned to ice. She ran. Back toward the main floor, past the lifeless mannequins, past the frozen registers. The pop music suddenly returned, distorted, slow, voices warped like underwater moans. She covered her ears. "Stop it, stop it." But it kept playing, louder. She reached the staff door, exit glowing faintly red above it, and tried the handle. Locked. She pounded it with her fist. "Help, someone," a faint hum. Then, static. The mirrors in the hallway began to glitch. Her reflection flickered, Jumping frames, one version of her frozen, another moving. She turned in confusion, but in the mirror, she was still staring straight ahead, her breath hitched. In one frame, her reflection was smiling. Lena stumbled back, crashing into a clothes rack. Hangers clattered to the floor. She bolted into the staff-only door, found it slightly ajar now, and pushed through. A small office, dimly lit, a single laptop on a desk, the glow of a screen illuminating the room. It showed security feeds. Multiple angles of the store, each one focused on her. In one feed, she saw herself changing clothes. Another showed her walking down the hallway. Another standing frozen, right now, staring into the camera feed. She turned slowly toward the small camera mounted above the door. Her lips trembled. Who's doing this? The laptop crackled. Then the same deep, distorted voice. You came back alone. We've been waiting. She yanked the plug. The screen went black. For a moment, there was silence. Then another monitor, in the corner of the room, flickered to life, showing her from behind. The voice again, quieter now. You shouldn't have come back here. Her knees almost gave out. She ran. Back through the aisles, past the mannequins, toward the gate, and that's when she heard it. Footsteps, soft, bare, coming closer. She dropped behind a counter, heart hammering, phone shaking in her hands. She tried dialing emergency services. No signal, just SOS. She peeked out. A figure stood at the end of the aisle, a person in a dark hoodie, head tilted, holding a phone that glowed faintly blue. They were filming her. She whispered, voice cracking, please, don't. The figure didn't move. The phone camera blinked red, then the lights went out. Darkness swallowed everything. You could only hear her breathing. Then a door creaked. Who are you? She whispered into the dark. What do you want? A faint click, that same camera sound. When the lights returned, hours later, the store was quiet again. Police tape fluttered across the entrance. Detective Hollis stood near the counter, hands in his pockets, staring at the broken mannequins. No forced entry, an officer reported. All the security feeds were wiped. Employee? Hollis asked. Gone. Quit 2 days ago. No address. Hollis frowned, looking down the dim fitting room hallway. And the girl. The officer held up a small evidence bag inside. A cracked phone, its screen black. We found this. Camera was still recording. Hollis took it. Pressed play. The footage showed Lena's terrified face inside the fitting room, whispering, if anyone finds this, don't trust the mirrors. Then static. A faint outline appeared behind her, something human-shaped, unmoving. Freeze. Hollis stared at the still image for a long time. Get me every camera feed from this mall, he said finally. The officer nodded and left. Hollis looked once more toward the hallway. The mirrors were covered in dust sheets now, but as he passed, one corner slipped. For half a second, the glass reflected his face, and behind him, Lena, standing still, eyes wide and hollow, lips barely moving, whispering something. The reflection blinked, but Hollis didn't. He turned sharply, heart thudding. Nothing behind him, just silence. The mirror now showed only his empty reflection. He exhaled shakily. Get these mirrors out of here. As he walked away, the camera caught one last flicker, Lena's reflection turning to face the viewer, whispering one final word. Stay.